Hello and welcome to Post Perspective TV. I'm Dana McCallum and I wish I was joining you right now live from Amsterdam, but we are celebrating virtual IBC season this year, thanks to our friends at Zoom. So I am very happy to welcome today as our guest, Eric Bassier from Quantum. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining us. I know one of your primary focuses were we on an actual show floor today is long-term storage. And you actually submitted a white paper to IBC on what you're calling the 100-year solution, 100-year archive. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and why Quantum felt a need to pursue it for the M&E market in particular?
Yeah, I mean, this has been I think a challenge in this industry for many years, and we're proud to be in a spot where I think we've been helping customers in media archive digital content for almost 20 years. What we're really starting to talk about more and what we're starting to see emerge in this industry, but also in many industries around the world, is the content that's being produced. Once that production phase of the kind of post-production process is done, this content has to be preserved forever in many cases. I mean, it's not, as I've said and to some people, it's not data. You know, these are works of art. These are, big blockbusters. They're cultural artifacts. And as you go outside of M&E, it's even bigger. I mean, it's research data. It could be medical images, different forms of patient records that need to be stored for decades and decades. And so it's a very difficult problem technically. And the white paper that we submitted as part of IDC starts to explore the best practices and the considerations for post houses and broadcasters and others in terms of what does it really take to build and manage, a forever content archive.
Right, and Quantum's approach to this, you've been putting the pieces together. You made an acquisition in the spring, I believe, and you're also pursuing an LTO-based solution. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, for those that have been following Quantum, I mean, we've been making steps toward leading in 100-year archives for the last few years. There's been a few really interesting developments. One is as you said, we did acquire the ActiveScale object storage software with erasure encoding earlier this year. We acquired that from Western Digital. We've incorporated that into our portfolio, and we're now driving that roadmap forward. We do think that object storage software is a key element of a 100-year archive. We think that storing data in object format, I mean, that is where data is going to live. It makes it easier to search, easier to access, and erasure coding allows our customers to protect that data absolutely and more efficiently. So we've had that, we've added that to our portfolio, and we have many customers already that are using our StorNext software as their storage software for the production portion of their workflow, and then archiving content to an ActiveScale object store, and that's kind of their active archive, right? That's their media content archive. As you said, we actually recently announced the availability of LTO 9, and the other big development we've seen in our business is we're seeing digital tape storage being deployed at very large scale in some of the biggest cloud providers for deep archiving, for multi-decade archiving of content, and most of it is video and images. I mean, some of that is video and images from our smartphones that are backed up to the cloud, but most of the data or content is that type of nature. We think that tape or digital tape storage is a will play a very key role in solving the forever content archive challenge. We think it's a critical technology, and we believe there's a very bright future for tape in that. Now, to really make that work for our for customers in this space, what we're actually doing is we're now merging those technologies together. Our object storage software, which has the ability to erasure and encode across multiple sites for that ultimate protection, can do that on top of disk arrays, like every other object store out there. But we're adding the ability for that object software to be able to erasure code data to tape as well. So we can actually build a massive scale digital archive using a combination of disk and maybe a lot of tape for that deep archive component or layer. And by incorporating it with that software, we've made it much easier to access data off of tape, to basically build a large scale object store with the economics of tape. That's probably our first step, and some of the things we've done this year are building toward that. And then you'll start to see us tackle some of the other big challenges around 100-year archives, data management between the cloud and the core, migrating data over time, and it's a interesting challenge.
And this is obviously an ongoing initiative for Quantum. Right now, are you offering more of a packaged solution, or are you building custom solutions, or for both, based on the enterprise scale of the project and what people are looking to archive?
Yeah, right now everything has been, I would say, custom in the sense of we've, many of these larger archives or many of our customers have different scale, different footprint in terms of the sites that they have. So we are able to, bring together our StorNext file system, our ActiveScale software, flash, disk, tape, and basically build an infrastructure for an entire workflow. We've been doing that for many years. What we are doing here very shortly is we will be packaging that up in a way that I think is much easier to consume. And in fact, packaging it up in a way so that it's more like purchasing a cloud service. That is what we're hearing, that how our customers that want to purchase this tech. And so you can imagine kind of a large scale archiving cloud, or a large scale cloud service built for archiving that we could deploy at a studio or at a post house. And that is really where we're going, is we'll start to package this up even more and make it easier to consume, easier to manage, and get these economic benefits we've talked about.
Great. Long-term archiving, it's such an important discussion. Some of it is data, some of it is bits and pieces, but some of it is just, it's history and cultural icons. I know we had a little pre-conversation. You mentioned an interesting use case out of Ireland.
Yeah, we recently published a case study with one of our customers, Nematon TV. They're one of the biggest sports producers in Ireland, and they use Quantum products and technology a couple different ways. They are a Quantum StorNext customers, so they use StorNext for their post-production workflow and NLE stage of their workflow. But they're also managing a StorNext digital tape archive. And the CEO of the company shared with me that they are archiving digital footage of some rugby matches from Ireland back, I believe, in the 1950s. And I loved the conversation with him because he talked about the cultural importance of those matches as a cultural artifact of Ireland's history. And I do think that I love working in this industry, because whether it's a blockbuster movie that was produced that people love, or a TV show that we all knew growing up or something, the works of art that are being produced are really valuable, and they have immense value. And they will be kept, I think, for maybe forever, for centuries, and thinking about how we can help lead customers in sort of the best architecture for that, how we can help work with them hand in hand to, build something that allows them to achieve that. It's one of the favorite aspects for me of my job. So.
Exactly. And if people were interested in reading the white paper, which kicked off this part of the conversation, that white paper is available on the Quantum website, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we did submit that as part of the IBC, and so I believe it's accessible through the virtual IBC site. But it is also available on our website, quantum.com, and we will be doing more, marketing and promotion around this concept going forward. Some additional webinars, et cetera. So for people interested, stay tuned and watch, and you'll see more from us on that soon.
Great. And we touched upon the LTO9 news that you announced at IBC, but coming up in Q4 post-show, that's when the next StorNext release is scheduled for, I believe, StorNext 7.
Yeah, we have a lot of really exciting new product introduction coming up. We will be introducing the next version of our StorNext file system. It's got new capabilities to be able to move data between pools of storage, NVMe pools or fast pools, disk pools from nearline. So improved ability to manage data and place data, just so we can give customers the best performance as part of their production stage of their workflow while optimizing costs. And we're also introducing really a whole new user interface and user experience with StorNext 7. It's dramatically simplified. It's got a modern look and feel. And we're introducing a simplified licensing model for the software as well. So really kind of moving toward more of a, more of a software defined, more of a, almost a cloud-based type of experience for our software. And so there's a lot we're doing. We'll be announcing enhancements to our ActiveScale object store software as well, to be able to, place data and erase your code data on tape. And we've got even some additional announcements we're making that we're not quite ready to talk about publicly yet. But we got a lot coming up on the roadmap, and you're going to be hearing a lot from Quantum in the next 3 to 6 months.
All right. Well, we'll take what we can get today. That was a great preview. And again, I know it's not official yet, but right now you're targeting November for that launch, correct?
Yeah, StorNext 7 is expected to be generally available next quarter, and we'll be announcing it next quarter and reaching out to our customer base, to our partner base, all that. Really, I think starting in October.
Great. Well, Eric, thank you for joining us today, and fingers crossed that next September we will be meeting up at the beach on the beach at the Rye in person. That'd be
Hopefully
great.
So thank you, Dana.
Thank you for joining us, and that's Dana McCallum saying thanks for watching Post Perspective TV.